and welcome to 10 Minute Talk.
I'm your host, Adam Feivel.
And I'm your special guest host, Agreeable Ben.
Today we'll be taking a look inside Miss Vandenhoeven's grade 11 English class, where students were asked to complete projects relating concepts to the novel Lord of the Flies. Let's take a look.
Let's do that.
In this first picture we can see Caitlin, Steph, and Jessica. They were the contestants in the game show, which was it was an homage to the popular game show Jeopardy. And they had to answer questions relating to quotations from Lord of the Flies.
They sure did. And at the end they had their regular Final Jeopardy, in which the contestants bet their points on one last, typically harder question.
Yeah, and in this next picture we see Teddy dressed in his costume also, with the top hat, pulling the Alex Trebek. And here we see Steph coming back to win the game. She was...
Now this project made a good use of quotations from the novel. Each Jeopardy category consisted of a different quote, and contestants were asked questions such as, who said this quote? And what is this quote talking about?
That's right, Adam. Now during the bulk of the competition, contestant Stephanie was in dead last. But by the end, she managed to get in first place. Now that was an amazing turnaround.
Oh yes. Now the thing about this was, it was a homage. How do you say that word?
I believe it's homage.
It was an homage to the popular game show Jeopardy, which of course we have all seen.
It's my favorite show.
Oh yes. That's all we have time for this section of 10 Minute Talk.
10 Minute Talk.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a shampoo that's different from all the rest? Something rejuvenating and revitalizing, reminiscent of that cool, fresh smell of the beach? Look no further. Try new Conch Shampoo. This new addition will leave you feeling cool and fresh, just like you would after a nice long day at the beach. The unique smell of Conch Shampoo will leave your friends wondering, where can I find this?
And we're back.
We sure are, Tom.
Adam, Jim. Let's take a look at our next project.
Okay.
In our next presentation, Phil, Jade, Alana, and Jessica acted out a therapy session and a trial involving the actions of Jack Merridew in Lord of the Flies.
Yep.
These four students had a creative storyline involving the aftermath of the rescue.
That's absolutely right. They played different characters, including bailiff, lawyer, and Jack,
along with many others.
Many others.
I think the highlight of this presentation would have to be near the end. In this situation, Phil, who is playing the character of the bailiff, escorted Jade, who is Jack, out of the courtroom. This ended up in a nasty spill when they tripped over a desk and fell quite hard to the floor. Yes. I think that this was a well thought out presentation, and I think it was a very creative portrayal of what happened after the boys were rescued from the island.
Absolutely. I loved it.
Yes. I think we'll have to cut for a break right now for a word from our sponsors.
Jim Smith, now in 11th grade, first discovered he had asthma when he was 7 years old.
All through elementary school, I could never keep up with the other kids in gym class. They would make fun of me for having what they called asthma. It was really discouraging.
But with careful use of his inhaler and knowing his limits when it comes to physical activity, Jim was able to overcome the obstacle of having asthma during his childhood.
I feel much better now, and I'm a lot more confident now that I've learned to deal with having asthma. And we're back.
We sure are.
Well, it's time for our final presentation of the day. This one was put on by Nick, Will, Andrew, and Phil. That rhymes, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Well, are you ready?
I was born ready.
Let's take a look.
Okay.
In this presentation, Will, who is the host of his talk show, much like yours truly, interviews Jack, Piggy, and Auntie, who were played by Nick, Phil, and Andrew, respectively.
They discuss Jack's bullying and how ultimately it led to Piggy's demise.
Yes. And the best thing about this presentation was that it was hard to keep quiet throughout the course because it was so hilarious.
It was just so funny.
Oh yes. Well, that's about all the time we have. We'll cut to a break right now and we'll see you in a few minutes.
We sure will.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. We hope you enjoyed this episode of 10 Minute Talk about the grade 11 students of Miss Vandenhoven's class and their projects relating to Lord of the Flies.
I know I did.
As for now, I'm your host, Adam Feigl, and this has been
10 Minute Talk.